Wassalatu wassalam Rasulullah, or rather, in the name of Allah, and peace and blessings of Allah be upon us. Last final messenger, family, friends, foes, haters, and hatettes. Welcome back to the features. I greet you all in peace and love with no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got our hella haters up in the hizzy for shizzy. And before we begin, we got to send a special shout out to Brother Hanif Bashir, who became a member. Alhamdulillah. Love and support. Thanks for the love and support. And for everybody, and we have to send a special shout out to Brother Rashid, who came in through the PayPal as well. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you a millionfold. I mean, both of you and all of you. And may Allah answer all your du'as. And wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Muhammad al-Musri, longtime supporter of the channel. May Allah reward you all. So, family. Jazakallah khair, jazakallah khair, jazakallah khair, Muhammad Musri, jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. So, family, we got a special guest tonight with Abdullah Luxi. And, you know, I keep telling y'all he's very underrated. I wish he would make some more videos on YouTube. But if you haven't subscribed to his channel, just go to his channel and subscribe to his channel. We're waiting for him right now because he's praying Fajr in Saudi Arabia. So that's why we're doing this late night live, because of the time zone difference. So it's going to be helpful for y'all over there across the pond in the UK and whatnot. And of course, we have to, you know, basically let people know what time it is when it comes to this white supremacy stuff, right? White supremacy has essentially ravaged the entire earth for the better part of almost 500 years. Okay. It just caused absolute havoc and chaos with this white supremacy stuff. And we said it before, we say it and one more again, right? That white supremacy right now is on its tail end. It is on its way out. Nobody wants it. And the powers that shouldn't be, they are doing everything that they possibly can to hold on to this gutter devilish system. And the people that are aiding them just happen to be some of the most unwanted, uncouth, undesirable people on earth. We're talking in terms of the non-white supremacists. The non-white supremacists that are supporting white supremacy. Nobody wants to deal with them. Okay? Nobody wants to be around them. So what do you mean, Bilal? This is what I mean. I want you to imagine a scenario where a group of people have been telling the entire world about their genetic superiority. And because of their genetic superiority, that genetic superiority has gave them a leg up on the rest of all of humankind in terms of intellect, in terms of organization and wealth, and in terms of, you know, the entire white man's burden. Okay. I want you to imagine, you know, a group of people like this. These are supposed to be the superior race. Okay. These folks are supposed to be the superior race. And I want you to imagine that this same people, through their literature and their science and their colonization of entire countries and lands, these same folks are now propping up as their leader the one the only Donald Trump. That's supposed to be the superior race. The superior race has now chosen for their leader Donald Trump. Now, both in the Quran and the Sunnah, both Allah himself and the Prophet ﷺ have both been very clear that there is no such thing as superiority of one folk over another except through the superiority of taqwa of Allah. That's the only superiority that actually exists. And if you look at the stories within the Quran, like the story of Ad and Thamud, for example, this is the biggest example, right? Because Ad and Thamud, they believed that they were superior because they were huge people, large people, very powerful, muscular people. They had advanced technology. They had, mastered the art of carving homes and buildings into mountains, which you can see in Saudi Arabia up until this very day, right? They had authority over the other smaller tribes around them. So they thought that they were superior. They believed that. The idea of superiority is nothing new in human history. Okay. Pharaoh is another good example. Where Pharaoh, he says, I'm your Lord the Most High, right? So the white supremacists now, they have taken all of this and they have said, for the first time in history, mind you, at least Ad and Thamud, they said that they were superior based upon, actual things, okay? Not just for showing up, but, the reality of the situation is that they were large, powerful people who were very wealthy, who had not been overpowered by any of the tribes around them. And they had mastered the art of carving into, mountains and things of this nature. And they could basically go around and bully the other tribes at will. So that's why they were saying that they were superior. Pharaoh believed that he was an actual god. Okay, he believed that he was the god over the people because he was an oppressor, and anything that he told folks to do, they just did. Kev D with the $2.79 super chat. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you 1,000,000-fold. And long time no see, sir. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. These folks, Ad and Thamud, they believed that they were superior based upon their physical prowess. Pharaoh believed he was superior based upon the wealth and the power he had amassed over the people. And the white supremacists believe that they are superiors because they just showed up. That was it. What makes you superior? We showed up. We were born. So because we are born, we have to give a genetic advantage to us over the darker races of the earth. They write books about this. They make sciences about this. They did. For those of y'all older, you remember the bell curve? Who remembers the bell curve? Number one in the chat if you remember the bell curve. Basically saying that black folk ain't got no intellect. They ain't that bright. Because the bell curve shows it. Right? Let's not take into consideration that you made it illegal for black people to read. You made it illegal for black folks to go to any school that they wanted to, right? You also made it next near to impossible for the black schools to get any type of government funding whatsoever. You made it impossible. But somehow, right? The bell curve shows that we are somehow we are the ones who are intellectually inferior. But in 2024, your king and your ruler is Donald J. Trump. That's your king and that's your ruler. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, you finally got you live. A big fan. Unfortunately, I can't contribute because I work for them folks. But I will always listen. You can contribute with your dua, but what you're sharing in the video, liking and commenting and things of that nature. Hayakumullah. Abdul Malik Abu Thalatha. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdullah, the legend, the Luxi.
عليك السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته يا أخي بلال.
How you doing, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, أخي. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So now that we have finished that nice intro, how is it over there in KSA? How's your Fajr?
Well, Alhamdulillah, bro. Alhamdulillah. This is winter in KSA. It's just wonderful. You know, you have you have all the good you could just imagine, and you know, nice weather. It's wonderful. What temperature you got, Bilal?
Yeah, right now it's not -11. Right now it's -11.
Oh, that's reasonable, I guess.
And I think we're going to -16 tonight. All right.
Okay.
So, yeah,
right, that's less reasonable.
All right, Sheikh. Alhamdulillah. So we were just warming up for you, so I will give it to you now, inshallah. Go ahead, Sheikh.
All right, cool. Let me share my screen. Allow to share screen window. Allow to share screen.
All right, 1 second, y'all. Where are we here? How did I do this last time? You see? I'm such a technological genius. 1 second, y'all.
Oh no, wait. I think I got to press something here.
There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Right, cool. All right. So, our topic tonight or today, depending where you are in the world, we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man ittaba'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmid din, amma ba'd. White supremacy and talking about villains. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that tonight we're going somewhere I don't think most of you viewers expect to hear what you're going to hear me talk about. Because number one, if you think that I'm going to be talking about political things and social things, y'all got features for that. I'm not here to do his job. All right, that's that. For those who know me, you know, I deal with matters of belief. And the belief beneath the surface of white supremacism is just a rabbit hole that is way deeper than anybody would imagine. And it's to the point where as I was kind of reading up and looking up things about it, I was even like, how can I even present this to people? So I was thinking of doing PowerPoint. Then finally, subhanAllah, I opted for this app here that's now kind of like part of the package when you buy a Mac. And, we're going to go over this map right here. Okay, until we go back to our superstar villain. Now, y'all know superstar villain of the last century, Uncle Adolf from across the river from where I live. All right. I mean, alhamdulillah,
Yep.
I'm in Medina, but I'm from Luxembourg, as y'all know. And Uncle Adolf was right across the river. And
Yep.
most of you will also know Uncle Heinrich Himmler, the mastermind and leader of the notorious SS. Now, you see, when we talk about white supremacy, people think of social Darwinism, maybe, or they think of, certain political parties, or they think about certain writers. But you see, we have the elephant in the room. And it's this thing right here,
The
the
swastika.
swastika. What the hell is this thing? And then,
Okay. I know where you're going with this, man. This is going to be very deep. Okay. All right. Go ahead,
yeah,
bro.
all right. And then we have the next elephant in the room that's a bit more discreet because it's better camouflaged. You see, like the skin of that elephant kind of blends a little bit with the color of the room. And it's this this sign right here of the SS or Waffen SS. What does it mean? Where does it come from? Why is it designed this way? And this particular sign, it doubles up as this sign here, which is just one S, stands for Sieg, victory. But there is a bit more to this. So anyway, we have to go back in time and explore villains that are less famous and less, how to say, that have gotten less glorious media attention and academic attention than our guys right here. So we're going to start with this villain right here. Do you know her, Bilal?
Helena Blavatsky?
Helena Blavatsky.
Blavatsky? I've seen her around, but I don't know too much about her.
Well, my dear brother Bilal, Helena Blavatsky, she was, as you can see, the little notes I wrote here on this document. She was originally Russian. She ended up getting American nationality due to her travels and, whatever connections she made in America. And we're going to speak about that later on. But this woman was an outright occultist.
Yes, that's where I've seen her from. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And, when we speak about occultism, we have to understand that it's what it actually means. Occult means it literally means hidden. All right. So we have the things that are there for you to see, and then there are the things that are occult, that are hidden behind the surface. And this woman, she had so the occult sciences are fairly vast. You of course have all your witchcraft, that is maybe one of the top occult sciences, but moreover you have all the sciences that are linked to astrology and whatever thing that actually kind of looks like astrology but is not based on stars but on other things like palmistry. So once again, palmistry, they say that, instead of reading from the stars, they read from your hands and they make a bunch of deduction from your hands, etc. All right. So a number of that is just pure digital. It's pure just, charlatanism. But in occultism, you have some very, very serious, deep kufr that is, that is a form of science. And this is what we're going to be exploring tonight. So Helena Blavatsky, her first, mega hit was this book right here, ISIS Unveiled, that she published in 1877. And this book was the foundation of a belief system that is called Theosophy. Theosophy, not theology, not philosophy, Theosophy. And so this came at a time where, materialism, we're like just post-industrial revolution. The world is you've had the first atheism appearing. You had the first secular governments being established, and the world was turning away from a religious, oppressive Catholic mafia, or no, not
Yes.
mafia, like super state. Really, it's not a mafia; it's a super state in
Mhm.
Europe, towards a hyper rational, supposedly, way of
Yeah,
life.
it really started happening around this time, and we read from the book. What's this? Gustave Le Bon, The Crowd.
Mhm.
He was very far ahead of his time in his thinking, and he was mentioning what was going on this time as well, right? Not to
Mhm.
mention around this time you have Darwin, you had Charles what's his name? Charles Lyell. All around this time this is happening, right? So
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I just want to jump in there. Go ahead,
Yeah,
bro.
no, absolutely, Bilal. I'm all for you participating, bro. Else I'd be talking to myself somewhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Well, let me just put my phone to charge, because that's what my internet connection is relying upon right now.
No worries.
All right, khalas, we're good to go.
All right.
So as you have explained,
Mhm,
people were moving away, or there was this mass, like this what you're pointing at. You have this mass moving away from a spiritual life to a very materialistic and supposedly rational vision of the world.
mhm,
Well, what does that create? De facto, a vacuum, a
mhm,
spiritual vacuum. Okay, and now people are just thirsty for whatever the heck. And now we have Blavatsky coming in with this new belief system, this new approach to spirituality, and
mhm,
this new approach to explaining the meaning of life. So it was anti-agnosticism and anti-modern sciences, and it was a mega mix of pagan mythology, mystery religion, Gnosticism, the Hermetica, Rosicrucianism, secret fraternities, and occult Egyptian lore.
mhm,
That's how researchers have summarized the content of this book, Isis Unveiled, by Blavatsky. Now,
mhm,
I wanna point out, or I want to attract your attention to this thing right here, Gnosticism. And that's going to be very important in what is coming from our talk.
mhm,
So Gnosticism it comes from the word gnosis. Gnosis means science,
mhm.
and Gnosticism is an understanding that your salvation, or your spiritual development, is not based upon deeds, righteous deeds. Rather, it is based upon going through different levels of science until you reach a level of illumination. Now,
Yes.
at the lower levels, this will be very simple teachings. So somebody tells you something and you accept what he's telling you. But later on, you have a number of occult practices and rituals that are combined into this path of enlightenment, that
Mhm,
then um, it has a physical impact on you that enables you to accept this enlightenment, or enables you to physically and mentally bear this enlightenment. It's like if somebody was to tell it to you, you would, your brain would shortcut, and
yeah.
you wouldn't be able to take it. All right, and we'll get back to that.
Mhm,
And the Hermetica is probably this is where the word hermites come from. The word hermite, a hermite, that's where that the word comes from, this particular thing right here, because hermites are a form of Gnostics.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with ta'abbud the way we understand it, and asceticism, etc. No, It's asceticism for an occult purpose of receiving that science. Now, what does that, so, okay, here we have some notes about the Hermetica. We're not going to get into this.
Now, this is like also is it, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's also related to Aleister Crowley as well, right?
I don't know. Aleister Crowley, he was on the other line of the border. Aleister Crowley, he was a British spy and occultist, and
sorry? I did not know that part. I did not know that part.
That he was a spy?
Yeah. Wow. You just blew my mind with that one. I knew
no. This is well admitted fact.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah. No, listen, Aleister Crowley. Look, Bilal, you have to understand one thing.
Because this stuff is very, very deep. Because the brother, he put it in the chat too, right? I'll just put it. He goes, they say Hitler was very close to the original members of the Thule Society, right? Right. And we
don't let us stagil. Don't be hasty, dude.
Okay. I won't say anymore. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So the Thule Society is just a secret society, and but like where Aleister Crowley was in all of this is so he was an occultist, he was a spy, and he was involved in a number of secret societies. Now, brother, you see, like secret societies, what's it called? Esotericism, as we're going to talk about, all right, and occultism and espionage, they all overlap somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So now in 1979, all right, Blavatsky moves to India with a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
And not here, she really deepens this theosophy framework. No, or this idea of theosophy, she actually makes it into a framework, like a real kind of organized spiritual path, and she really defines the whole belief system behind it. And now she starts founding theosophical societies in India, but also in many places in the West. And so theosophy actually spreads in India, and she establishes the Theosophical Society, the Theosophic Society in Madras. Now, Madras, I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly, but for those who know, this is one of the headquarters of Hinduism and yoga centers. All right. And obviously, I mean, you can already see from the kind of belief system that she is pulling together, Hinduism highly influenced what she is talking about.
Yes.
And then here, all of a sudden, you have the studies of Aryan languages.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And now, and people, and this is very important, and this is going to come back later on in life, in our kalam right here. Now, she claims to receive teachings from two exalted Mahatmas that live in secret in a secret fastness in the Himalayas. Fastness as in like some kind of secret retreat that is, well guarded by Allahu Alam what. And they do their spiritual stuff there.
Yeah.
So this people is just one of the most bizarre things that you see everywhere when you study these kind of things. There is always this secret master of enlightenment that is detached from the team that we're talking about. Now here we have the Blavatsky team and her societies, etc. She's running all these societies, but then you have this secret master that appears and disappears. We don't know where he came from. We don't know where he went back to.
All this sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yes. Tell me, Ya Bilal.
Where have I heard this stuff before? Yeah, it's all connected. All the shirkiyat is all connected, man. It's all, you know.
It's all over, Bilal. It is all over. And what the brother was mentioning in the chat, the Tula Society, they have one of those as well.
Wow, I did not.
Well, you actually might know the name when we get there. Anyway,
okay. Go ahead.
So anyway, these two exalted Mahatmas, they were supposedly the instructors of the Aryan the Aryan root race on Earth at this particular point in time. Okay. Now I stress here the word root race. We're going to come back to that. And according to this belief system, there was a level of society before in the Aryan root race that were the priest kings. All right, and they are the ones that are inspiring these two mysterious individuals right here. And it's at that stage that Blavatsky writes The Secret Doctrine in 1888. Now, the Secret Doctrine, this is the outright gnosis of this particular madhab. So as I said, the gnosis is the secret science. And now, obviously, normally these things are not really published. But for some reason, this here was published. And knowing how these people roll, it leads you to believe that there's actually stuff above that this was not the end all be all of Blavatsky's madhab. There was more coming further on. All right. So the secret gnosis, the secret doctrine, sorry, for those who, those who have studied, Blavatsky and this book and everything she did. So they summarize saying as it was very heavily inspired by Hindu beliefs, and we have an aqidah of a cyclic existence of the universe. And I'm going to explain that.
Abdullah, if you can repeat the last 30 seconds, because we lost you there for a second.
Okay, so the secret doctrine was heavily inspired from Hindu beliefs, and it explains the aqidah of a cyclic existence of the universe. So the universe comes into existence, rises, reaches a peak, has its downfall, has a level of complete annihilation, and then there is a rebirth. All right. Now also we see that Hindu symbols are used to depict these types of beliefs. And this is where the whole symbolism and, occult understanding of the symbology comes from. And so let us look at the foundations of the aqidah of this book, The Secret Doctrine. So first of all, there is the existence of a God, or of God, right? Rabbul Alameen, as we all know, the God, the one God. This is not a matter of debate in reality. People think they get all excited if Fulan believes in God. Oh, he's about to become Muslim. No. Everybody does believe in God. All right. You're just not aware of what's really in people's books. Now, what is the description of this God according to the secret doctrine? Well, he is omnipresent, boundless, eternal, and immutable. Ash'aris, Maturidis. Does that not sound like your aqidah?
Yep. Yep.
You see, like let us just translate this in Ash'ari terms. Omnipresent, that's what they're beating the drum about nowadays. Mawjood bila makan. All right, he's
Yes,
there without
exactly.
being there. Okay.
Mhm.
Next thing is boundless. So they have this big
Mhm.
thing where they make takfir of us because we say Allah is
Above
somewhere,
the heaven.
but not everywhere. So
Yeah.
there is a limit. Okay, and the Salaf have used
Yes.
this particular how to say terminology to describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Eternal is what they
Mhm.
call al-qadim, and immutable is their whole principle of aqidah, which is la tahullu fil hawadith. So it means that
Mhm.
Allah can't change. He can't be in one place then move to another
Yes.
place. He can't come down in the last third of the night. He can't
Mhm.
speak, etc., because he's immutable. All right, it's like one
Mhm.
fixed thing that does not do anything. All right.
Yes.
And so, and this is very important because this is where we're getting at. God instrument is a thing called fohat. I don't know how they pronounce that thing. This is how it's spelled in the books. So fohat
Mhm.
is this energy that is all
Mhm.
around us, or that is flowing through the universe, and through your spiritual practices, through the changing of your
Mhm.
beliefs by adopting these beliefs right here, and through doing these occult spiritual practices, you learn to harness fohat in order to do your stuff, aka sihr باختصار شديد. Okay. All right. And then you have, as we have mentioned previously before, we have the
Mhm.
periodicity, we mean the cyclic birth and destruction of the whole universe, the whole being, and that there is a fundamental union between God and the souls of all being, and all the creation. All right. Now, this is my reference. I coded this reference because, very honestly, I don't want nobody to read this book.
Yeah.
You just gonna have to trust me. If you don't trust me, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really don't want to put these books out there for anybody to know. All right. So once again, here,
Mhm.
this belief system right here, it sounds very familiar, Bilal, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. You know. And even you can say that the Asherites and the Maturides, they annihilated their own Lord, because they say, he's not up, he's not down, he's not left, he's
Mm-hmm.
not right. You know, he's not in front of us, he's not behind us.
He's not in the
He
creation.
exists
He's
without a
not out of the creation. You know.
so you're giving the definition of
Absolutely.
nothing, as you're saying this is Allah,
Absolutely.
right?
And this is where this whole thing comes from here. There's this omnipresence without being anything.
Mhm.
And then you have this thing called fohat, which is the energies. And
Yes,
that's really what you
yes,
worship. You worship those
Mhm.
energies because all
Energies,
your
yes,
all
yes.
your you must probably have watched my final episode from my 3 series of things that I did about Sufism and Ibn al-Qayyim. So what is
Mhm.
kashf? Kashf is
Clarification, right?
no, kashf, it's the discovery. It
Okay,
is you
discovery. Okay,
don't base your belief on revelation. No, you're gonna go discover the truth yourself by doing these occult
okay,
practices. And so you see this
okay.
fundamental union between God and the souls. That's what Sufis wanna develop through their Wahdat al-Wujud beliefs and their Hulul beliefs, etc. But we'll talk more on
Mhm.
this later. So you see this
Yes.
point two right here, the periodicity and the cyclic birth and rebirth of the world. So
Mhm.
it's the three logoi. I'm not sure how you pronounce that either. So those are three phases through which time and space and matter were created. So as it's a form of wahdatul wujud. So God, as they understand it, was there without being anything, but manifested itself or himself through those three phases that through which the universe became into existence. So what does that sound like?
That sounds like pure pantheism to
But
me.
it's the Big Bang, brother.
Repeat that again, okay? Go ahead.
Is,
Walk me through this. Walk me through
it
this.
is the Big
Go ahead.
Bang, brother. Look, you see, you have to understand. We're going to get to this later. A lot of this supposed science, it's not that you had a bunch of very smart guys in a lab trying to figure something out. It is actually this kind of belief they had in the first place, and then they trying to justify it through science. Big Bang is one of the most nonsensical thing you've ever heard. You had the absolute nothing. So you had, according to them, no matter, no space.
Yes.
So we know either matter or space. It's either there is something or we have space, which is the lack of something being there. So they say we had nor this nor that. And there was no time. Okay? So it is the nothing of nothing.
Yes. Did we lose him? We gotta wait for him. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Okay, he's back. 1 second. He's back. 1 second, family. Let me get him back. We only lost you for like a split second there, bro.
So you see.
All right. So the last thing we heard from you, the Big Bang is nothing from nothing.
So they say that before the Big Bang. Look here. That's what the science. That's what you know. Science people say nowadays.
Yes.
There was no time. Sorry, there was no matter, and there was no space.
Yes.
Bilal, we either have matter or space. Matter is when there is a physical thing here, and space is when the physical thing is not here. Then we have space.
Exactly.
So how do you have no thing and no nothing? And you have no time. So events occur in time. That's what an event is. It's something happening there. It's not something fixed. So how does an event occur without there being time? Scientifically, it contradicts everything we know.
Everything in anything scientific theory, it's a massive contradiction within itself. Absolutely massive. But it's being passed off as science, and the only reason why it's being passed off as science is because they want to, as we mentioned before, they want to annihilate their own creator. They want to put God outside of the equation, right? So now they end
not
up
fully. You see, not fully. They want to put outside of God outside of the equation for certain people, while they keep God in the equation for themselves, because this is their belief. Like, explain to me how come science, I mean the Big Bang, you know, that is so unprovable, has stated those three things just as these occult people believe. Come on, dude. And we'll get back to that later. Okay. Now, let's dive into the first part of the crazy stuff.
Only the first part.
Oh, yeah, we haven't started yet. So, dear people, this is the logo or whatever you want to call it of the Theosophical Society. Yeah, subhanallah.
Wow, look at all of that, man. So let me just quickly, you have the Om symbol, which is from Hinduism, right? You have
That's
the
the one up
swastika,
here, the Om that Bilal just said.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was clearly brought in from that occultist lady, I believe.
No, this whole thing is
Because
from her.
a lot of
This
people
whole
don't
thing is from
understand.
her. All right. This is the
Yes,
logo of
yes.
her
Because
madhab.
the swastika was actually in Europe before Hitler. Hitler just kind of popularized it, right? So, and this lady, I didn't know where it came from, but it seems to be the direct line from this lady to
Absolutely.
Europe, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. You have the Star of David here. Okay, you have the Ankh in the middle there. It looks like an
That's
Ankh
what it is,
anyways.
Bilal. Well,
Right.
I'm impressed, Bilal. I am impressed. Continue.
And you have the snake, which the snake, of course, is a very common occult symbol, right? And it's even on the if I'm not mistaken, maybe C.L. Edwards, he's here, or maybe Nacker. It's one of the symbols for the medical society or something like that in the
Yeah, but
US or
not this
whatever.
snake right here. Like, you have to look. This is the snake that's eating its tail.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
You tell me. Go ahead.
It means this right here, the cyclic existence of the universe.
There you go. Okay, see, I did not know that. I don't know, but yes.
And then you have this writing here.
Yes. There's no religion higher than the truth. So that means there's no religion higher than Gnosticism. It's like wordplay.
Absolutely.
That's what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like a
Wallah,
little.
Bilal, I'm impressed,
It's
brother.
like
I am impressed, my brother.
You know, they don't want to say Gnosticism because they say Gnosticism, people are like, whoa, right? But if they say truth, it's like palatable, because people can say, yeah, you have to believe in the truth. That's what people naturally say. But they don't mean it. They mean what they are following.
The truth is right here. You understand? This is how we got all y'all religions. Y'all ain't got nothing. We're bringing you the truth. Okay. So now let us look in everything which you explain in a bit more. This is, according to most researchers, how the swastika came into Germany for the first time. Because this was the seal. That's not the logo. They call it the seal. This is the seal of the Theosophic Society. And you see, you have the Om here. So the Om represents God somehow. The word is always very complicated and contradicting their beliefs. Is actually exactly as you have explained with the Ash'aris and the Maturidis nowadays. God is not inside and not outside. All right, He's not here and He's not absent. You're describing Allah with two things that are excluding everything.
Everything, exactly.
It's either this or that. That's what we can understand. No, you're negating both. If you negate this one, it necessarily implies that one. No. We negate this and we negate that, and we say that's how it is. Well, no, and you will see that this is a very common theme in occultism. So if you read their description of God here, as they say, you're like, what the hell? You just said that. Now you say the opposite. Now, you negated this, and then you negated the necessary implication of having negated this, whatever. You see the swastika, Akhi, it represents the energy. See, this is like the source of energy. You see, it's like this wild thing that is turning and is throwing out the energy. And that's at the center of where the universe gets is birth and its destruction and rebirth. This thing here. All right. Then, as you said, you have the Star of David, and you see the way it is interlocked. Well, okay, now I'm getting going to get a bit controversial here, but I believe that this is hinting at their belief of qadar. And I always bring back the Matrix in those things, because this is really the underlying esoteric theme of the trilogy Matrix movie. Because it's, you see, the qadar is something that has mind-boggled human beings forever. Because on the one hand, we see very well that Allah is in control. And on the other hand, we witness the fact that we do have free will. And those things are actually contradicting. And this is why we have, you know, in our own history, our Islamic history, we have sects that went astray on both edges of the spectrum. These ones here have completely negated qadar, and they have affirmed free will in full. And you have the other extreme that have negated free will and affirmed qadar in full. But you see, the esoterics, they join the two, but in a different way, by annihilating your free will in order to become part of qadar. So it is very bizarre what these people believe. But you see, like, these triangles here, they kind of interlocked. And it's like,
yes,
you're there, but you're locked. You see, qadar, it has you on lockdown. You can't escape it, which as such is true. But then if you go deeper into what they say, is like, no, we actually gonna show you how you're gonna become part of it. And then here in the middle, so do you know what this symbol means, yeah, Bilal?
Yeah. The Ankh? No, actually,
it's,
I don't know.
Adult content reproduction.
That's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it was.
And yeah, okay. Bro.
I didn't want to say, but that's what I thought.
Exactly what it is. And we'll come back to that. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right. But anyway, so in this aqidah of you know, cycles and, you know, all this and blah blah blah. So in every cycle, there are 6 lower cycles. So, you know, like the mega birth and destruction of the universe. Within that cycle of the universe, on Earth, you're gonna have 7 cycles of, you know, a race rising, declining, falling, and going into destruction, and the next race rising and falling. Okay, and then after the 7th one, you have the mega destruction of everything and the rebirth of everything. All right, cool. So now, during each cycle, you have a race that is called the root race. They are the super duper pure people. And in our cycle, we are the 4th one according to them. The root race is the Aryan race. So here we have it. The Aryans.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started.
Yeah, that's
so. So the Aryan.
Now, before you continue, bro, right? Because I was talking before you came in, because I know you're making salat and stuff, and I was mentioning that, you know, white supremacy right now is on its heels, it's on its tail end, and we can see the fruits of it, right? And the reason why people are acting so crazy is because it's on its tail end. And I said only certain folks, like certain people who the whole world doesn't want to deal with them, will try to prop up white supremacy. You know who I was thinking about? I didn't mention it because you came. You know who I was thinking about?
Tell me.
They're not Hindus. They're the only ones. They're the only ones that will, and they are actually propping up white supremacy right now. And there's like almost 1 billion of them, right, in India, right. And they're causing havoc here in Canada, and I'm not sure about the States, but there's even in Canada, there's like almost like a civil war between Hindus and Sikhs.
Yeah, I know. I watched you the live you did on that. I was very surprised. You know, I really didn't expect that to be the case. But then, you know, I was surprised, and at the same time, yeah, that's how you guys roll. I know, you know, your underlying beliefs, they will lead you to do that. You know.
But if you look at America right now, who are the non-whites that have been given the keys to the kingdom right now, right? Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy, Hindu. Okay. You have Tulsi Gabbard, Hindu, right? And you have, what's the other guy? Somebody can put in this chat. Another one. 3 of them, Hindus, for the first time in American history. right? You have Neander Modi making trips to places he never made trips before. He's making trips to Guyana recently, right? Because a lot of Hindus there, right? You know, and you have also Hindus who are begging to be part of the Israeli army right now, as we speak.
Subhanallah
They want to
al-Azim.
go fight. You know what I'm saying? So, and the white folks don't have enough bodies to do all this stuff, but the Hindus,
Oh yeah. Oh
they
yeah,
got
yeah.
a hell of a
Oh yeah, yeah.
population,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
All right, so go ahead,
Yeah,
bro.
so anyway, so the Aryan root race, you know, so they have a whole aqid around it, that it was the previous, the Atlanteans, you know, Atlantis, you know, this is also a big theme in occultism. So they planted the Aryans
Mhm.
before that, before them perishing, and then, you know, the new cycle started, and the Aryans, they were the root race. And so also in there, the Atlanteans, they possess the knowledge on how to harness Foat. So you see, occultists, they are obsessed with some form of this. And wallah,
Mhm.
it's to the point where, you know, you will read, you know, some stuff about personal development, you know, how, you know, personal organization, discipline, whatnot, you know, and it's really down to earth stuff. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden, Yahi, this author that you had, you know, listened to quite a bit or read a few books from, brother, he starts talking stuff like, what did you just say? And the dude is talking exactly about this. And how do you
Mhm.
tap into these esoteric forces or things in order to let them
Yeah.
into yourself in order to become a superhuman being. And
Mhm.
anyway, we'll get back to all of this. This here is all just the introduction. So, you know, just throwing in there, Blavatsky, amongst other things she did, she had this periodical right here called Lucifer. Okay,
Wow.
but look at the symbolism of Lucifer.
Yeah, looks like a real nice, indecent guy, angel,
Yeah,
right? Angel holding
the
the light
light,
there,
Bilal. You see, it is,
which is also symbolic of the Statue of Liberty, right? As
yes,
well, right? It's that,
and this is the gnosis.
right? And
You see, Lucifer,
yes,
he
yes.
is the one who is passing on the gnosis to the
Mhm.
people, and you know, through whatever. And you know, if you know, and let me throw this in the people, Al-Hallaj. Al-Hallaj people, he is one of the big guys inside of the Matrix. And he
Mhm.
was advocating exactly for this. Because you see, in their Aqidah, Lucifer,
Mhm.
Iblis, he is the oppressed one in the story. Okay.
Mhm. Who is Ahlaj?
Al-Hallaj, he's a big Sufi that was denounced by other Sufis to the governor in the 3rd century after Hijrah. And
Mhm.
he was cut to pieces and burnt to ashes. And nowadays they have a grave for him in Baghdad, you know, where, that you can go and worship him if you want. Dude was burnt to pieces, was
Mhm.
cut to pieces and burnt to ashes. What grave does he have? You know, anyway.
Mhm.
So Al-Hallaj, he has what he calls a tawasin or a tasin. And in there, it's all coded esoteric kalam. It's the same thing. He tells you Iblis is the miskin in the matter. And why? Because of qadar. And and you are to take him as your illumination guide, because he is the one who figured out how to become part of qadar, or to become, you know, Allahu alam, all the details of how this works. But that is
Mhm.
really the satanic madhab of the illuminated people. So
Mhm.
let us move a bit forward. So Blavatsky, she creates the first Theosophical Society in Germany. And wallahi, akhi, when you read the biography of her and her likes, brother, you are
Mhm.
amazed at how efficient they are. Brother,
Mhm.
the woman, akhi, she set up an unbelievable number of societies, publishing houses, launched publications, wrote books, published books, held conferences, built study circles, blah, 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 blah. It's on and on and on. Like, first of all, how do you all do all of this in a lifetime? Number two, what kind of money you got?
I think that they work with jinn, to be honest. I don't even doubt it.
That's not even an issue, because everything that you see they do, it just comes back to that. But yeah, akhi, the money, dude, the money. Who sponsors you? Who backs you up? Who is bankrolling all of this? And who just enables it? Yeah, akhi, you go open a society somewhere and see the headache. You'll be running between government office here and getting a license there and get a signature there. And in all of that, you got a 9 to 5 and you got kids to feed and you got kids to raise and, and one of your kids is sick and, brother, he has some issue. Dude. So anyway, in her.
When you're talking about that, right? And I just wanted to use this as a segue point. Because right now we see a lot of things coming out with terms of like a lot of these high level entertainers like Puff Daddy, like Jay-Z and whatnot. Right. And one of the things that came out about Puff Daddy is that he practices voodoo, but high level voodoo, right? That's one of the things that came out with in his investigation. We already knew about Jay-Z being a part of the Illuminati. Right, we knew about that already, and then he works with this I can't remember. Maybe you know, but he works with a witch, like a very popular witch in the billionaire circles, right?
Bilal,
and
look,
his wife is.
The Diddy parties are right here. That's where the Diddy parties are at.
There you go.
Akhi, when I first heard about this thing, bro. Yeah, you know straight away what this is all about.
And there's too many music artists are now coming out, way more than the past, like so many, talking about how satanic the music industry is, and the entertainment industry.
And this is why I'm advocating you have to unplug your mind from there.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm saying that is that they're all working with jinn. That's the whole. They are working with jinn, right? So I don't doubt that these folks they have some sort of satanic religion, just like Pharaoh did, right, in his time, right? That's how they're accumulating all this wealth, right? But go ahead, Sheikh. Go ahead.
But you see, like what you're talking about, the music industry and the work with jinn. We'll get back to that later, because that is not disconnected from what is happening right here. But anyway, back to Germany. So we are in 1884. So we are 3 decades away from the First World War, exactly. All right. So amongst the things that the German Theosophical Society does under the patronage of Blavatsky is this publication right here, Lotusblütchen. All right. Theosophische Monatsschrift. It means like a monthly magazine, or a theosophical monthly magazine. All right. Here you have the the publisher and the city of Leipzig. So this is January 1990, edition 88, or say 88th publication. And what do we have here? We have the seal of the Theosophical Society.
Yeah.
And researchers have traced the swastika to here. This is where the swastika entered the German public. Here it entered, a society. It entered on German territory. But this is where it entered public, the public sphere. So, here is another, he's just another one. This is just what I found online. And so, okay, so here you had the Lotusblütchen, which means the lotus blossom, and this was the new edition. This was the new lotus blossom. I don't remember exactly what was the difference between the first series and the second series, but I'm just trying to tell you that. So this is from 1990, and here we are in 1908. I mean, the thing was there. It was not some fringe kind of activity that was for a reserved public. It was out in the open, and they were very active.
Yep, they were trying to hide it.
Absolutely.
They're proud of it.
And here we're gonna leave Blavatsky, and we're gonna go to our next villain. Okay, before we talk about our next villain, okay, we have our baby villain here, who is Rudolf Steiner. Do you know who this guy is, Bilal? Brother, this guy. So he was a member of the Theosophical Society of Berlin, which was not the original one, the German Theosophical Society. All right, so there was a bunch of them. So he published his own periodical Lucifer, which is not the book Lucifer. This is a book. Sorry, this was not a periodical. This was a book by Blavatsky. He has a periodical called Lucifer from 1903 to 1908. So this guy here is a Christian. I mean, yeah, bro. Spot the inconsistency, brother. Why? Because he's a Gnostic Christian.
Okay, I got you.
And he, you see, like the main Theosophical Society, they were mainly inspired from Hinduism, but he brought in an esoteric reshaping of the Christian religion in a theosophical form. So, and this is what I really want everyone to understand. It is bizarre how esoteric madahib that seem disconnected geographically have the same content. We know slight tweaks here and there, but in general, they have the same content, and we're going to get back to this. So he was also, so he was an extremely smart man. He was also an architect, and he is the one who designed and had this thing here built, is the Goethe Annum. So Goethe is a famous German author. I guess you have heard of him, Bilal? Goethe? Okay,
no.
well, his books are translated. Intellectual people, they pride themselves at reading Goethe, and I read one or two of his books back in the days when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and now that I understand certain things, I understand that this dude was talking about esoterical things, but presenting them to you in an exoteric way, because this is how they work. They present a message to you that is hiding another message. And you know, there was this woman who was my neighbor. She used to be kind of a mentor for me at a certain stage in my life when I was 16, 17 years old. And so once again, things she was telling me, I didn't really understand it back in those days, but now I know she was part of esoteric circles right in my country of Luxembourg. And so but this woman, she was not just some random nuthead running the streets. No, she was actually the top one qualified person in Luxembourg in matters of education. She was the number one of the country when it comes to education. Nobody topped her qualifications. And she was telling me about a certain esoteric circle run by the number one scholar of psychology of Luxembourg. So this thing is there, Bilal. It's all around us, but it's hidden. You see, they kind of, they like to, you know, just give you like a...
They have one language for themselves and another language for the people.
Barakallahu feek. Exactly like you have put it. And from the language is the sign language. So here you have this architect who designed this building right here for Goethe. And, you know, this is an esoteric This just the shape of the building is an esoteric symbol. And he built a bunch of them. This is the first one. So anyway, we have him in the equation as well. People are going to tell you that he was a Rosicrucian and blah, blah, blah. It's just shrouded in mystery and layers of occult, ununderstandable stuff. We're going to move on to the next really big villain, which is this guy right here. Have you ever heard of this guy right here?
I heard of him. But I can't remember where exactly. Right? He sounds very
Guido
familiar.
von List. Yeah, way later. People. The craziest thing about this guy here is that the stuff I'm going to tell you is actually documented, and it's not, you know,
Hidden,
conjectures. Right? Guido von List. All right, here you have his lifetime. He died in you know, in the second year of the First World War. So he was a full-blown occultist. Now his story goes as follows. So he was born in a Christian family, raised as a Christian, and one day in his teenage years, I believe, he he went with his father and a group of friends of his father to visit the catacombs of the St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna. That was in 1862. So this is the entrance of the catacombs. The catacombs. I'm not sure how catacombs. This is how it's pronounced. Okay. So brother Bilal, I just see this entrance right there, and I'm like, dude.
Like, oh hell
no.
Hell
no. No way.
Oh, thank
no way. Okay. Now, mind you, this is under a cathedral. This is the basement of a cathedral, if you want.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, a catacomb is a place where they dispose of dead people. They just,
but not a normal disposition. Okay, it's not like not like what you think of. Go ahead, describe.
So Guido von List, he says that when he went to visit this catacomb, and according to what I read, it's actually a labyrinth.
Yes.
Another crazy thing. So inside of the catacomb is a crypt. Now, a crypt, people, this is where the word encryption comes from. It's a secret hiding room in a building that is like camouflaged in some way, shape, or form. So people are allowed to visit the crypt of the catacomb. And so there was an altar. So an altar, guys, please.
Oh gosh.
Oh my days, oh my days, oh my days.
Oh my God.
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye. Do you understand?
Oh my gosh.
So Guido von List, this teenager, he said that he knelt in front of the altar in the crypt, and he vowed to rebuild the temple of Wotan.
Wotan? What's that?
Odin.
Oh my gosh.
Brother, you cannot make this stuff up. Now, online, I found a picture of this supposed crypt. Sorry, not crib, crypt.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, that's because the catacombs, like the catacombs, they have the bodies out there like that.
Brother,
right? So
what a place for inspiration.
Exactly.
Achi, get the hell out of here. Please, man.
Yeah.
No, how can Christians, Christians, wake the hell up. Yeah, I don't think there's something kind of off right here.
No, thank you.
Bruh.
Brother, get anyway. So Guido von List, he now has this vow to rebuild the temple of Wotan, which is Odin. Odin is the god that has, over 100 names. 100 completely different names.
Mm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Odin, for people to understand, he is a Nordic.
Oh, like, will you consider him like the German answer to Zeus?
Well, yeah, you, akhi, bro. And once again, let me get to that, Bilal. Let me get to that. We're building up to that. So Odin is from the north. You know, Scandinavian countries, Vikings, and all these just base pagans. Now,
Yes.
I wanna give you here. So it's a form of mythology. But what does it say about Wotan? All right. So Wotan performed rituals, ritual acts of self-torture in order to win the magical gnosis of natural mysteries. Hooray, hooray, hooray. According to late 19th century scholars, these acts reflected a form of shamanism, a result of pain. As a result of pain, the performer of these rituals gains a certain magical and psychical powers. In the Havamal, Wotan was wounded by a spear and hung upon a windswept tree without food or drink for 9 nights. And at the climax of his suffering, an understanding of the runes suddenly came to him.
That reminds me of
Say it.
a scene from a movie that I seen. It was with what was the name of this movie, man? I can't even remember. But it was the way that he described it is exactly like this scene, right? And I was like, I wonder if people do this in real life. I think it was like a Hannibal Lecter movie or something like that.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, right. Because we know that people who are generally into occult, they have these weird pain rituals, and we see it all the time, not just with the Hindus, but we see it with people involved in voodoo. We see it with people involved with tasawwuf, right? And you can see these videos. You can see the Shia. The Shia do it every year. I always say it. The Shia are the largest cult in the world right now. Right? That's the Rafida Shia.
Absolutely.
They out there cutting, spilling their blood, you know what I mean, and all kind of craziness, rubbing their faces in the ground, and you know, and it's they do all this crazy nonsense, right? We've seen Sufis take knives and like hammer directly into their skull with like 4 or 5 knives in their skull, like in a row, like
Absolutely.
a mohawk.
I saw that video too. Oh, subhanallah. I mean,
Yeah, sticking like blades in one cheek and coming up the other cheek, and
but you see
all
that
kinds
Sufi stuff, the one you described right there. This might actually just be Dajjal and the result of sihr. But this thing here is what, as the author of the book that I will not mention right here.
Well, shamanism is just another name for sihr, right?
It's a particular one.
It's like, yeah, there's voodoo as another way, another form of sihr. You have what you call it, sorcery, and all the kind of stuff. It's all kind of like, there's similarities between all of them.
Exactly,
really,
but
right?
you see, like the Western scholars, they have studied the Native Americans, and their form of spiritual, whatever you want to call it, and that's what they call shamanism. And the way it works is that the chosen individual from a tribe, he gets chosen by the occult powers, the jinn, and he has to undergo a ritual of inflicting extreme pain upon himself, food and drink deprivation and sleep deprivation for a number of days, until the shaitan literally appears in front of him. All right.
Yeah. Buddhists have a similar thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, there is a common theme to all of this. You see, at the climax of his suffering, an understanding of the runes suddenly came to him. This ritual aims at expanding your perception and your understanding of certain things. See, that's the gnosis. It's you. According to them, we are not able to understand those things because we haven't been able to do the rituals. Our mind is just not at the level for this to connect with us.
Yes.
So let us focus on this word right here, the runes. What is a rune? Do you know, Bilal?
A rune is like a stone with a what you call it, a sigil on it, right? If I'm
You're
not
very
mistaken.
close. Rune
Yeah.
are these things here, runes. They're a sign kind of alphabet.
Yeah.
But you see where it gets interesting is that the nobles, you know, the very higher upper class used to communicate with each other through runes at a certain stage in Europe, including Germany. And this actually in Denmark, there is a museum about runes. But you see, the interpretation of those runes was kept secret. So the commoners, he would see a rune, he wouldn't know what it means. So this was a secret form of communication. And the runes are best known as an ancient northern script formed. So script as in, you know, written and also encrypted, formed by sharp separate lines of writing or cutting upon wood or metal or stone. But they were also used for
Yes,
their magical properties in divination, astrology, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah. See, I was very close.
So you see, just as you see, like in our world, the Sahara that attribute themselves to Islam, that come from the Muslim world, they will, you know, have the Arabic writings, this place, yani placed in a certain way, you know, like put some letters up, some letters down, write them on different geometrical shapes, etc. It's the same thing with runes. It was a way of practicing communication with jinn and doing whatever. So Guido von List, our villain down here, he wrote this book right here, Das Geheimnis der Runen, mit einer Runentafel. Okay, so Runentafel, Tafel is a board. So you imagine, like you I'm sure you've seen this, how they do sihr. See, you have this board where they light candles, and then you have all these geometrical shapes, and then they write things in corners. All right, so he's telling you how to do this by using runes.
Well, you know, Sheikh, all of this now is pretty much in every child's video game, every cartoon, you know, most you know, modern you know, sci-fi movies have exactly like this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not even hidden anymore. So they're affecting people with magic on a incredibly massive scale, and people are buying into it as if it's harmless, but it's causing massive damage to, especially to the brains of children, so much so that they have to have government meetings about, you know, what children are watching on their social media because of this stuff. It's
brother
exactly
Bilal. Somebody from my extended family is a consultant for movies. She's a witch, and she's telling them how to do it.
Wow. You see?
I'm not joking, bro.
Wow. Yeah. There's an old video.
She might be your neighbor, actually. She's in Canada. Yeah.
Really, yeah? I mean, there's so many people who practice magic undercover. It's ridiculous.
It's not undercover anymore, brother.
Right?
Oh my days, it's coming out in the open. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's one of the signs of Yom Kippur, anyways. Like, it's one of the signs of the Day of Judgment. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said it's one of the 7 sins to stay away from, which means what? It wasn't widespread like it was at his time, as it is in our time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely widespread, right?
So back to our villain. You see, he he started using so okay, another very important, so there were the runes on the one hand, and on the other hand you had this mysterious book right here called the Edda. Now there are two Eddas, but they're both esoterical books from the Nordic people, Scandinavians, Danes, and maybe England as well. I mean, like the UK, what is modern day UK. Obviously, you know, you have the good old always has to be there somewhere. Odin as well, by the way. All right, Odin was one-eyed. Yeah, and all of this here are esoteric symbols that has esoteric meanings, and you know they how to say you know, it's as we said, with runes, doing witchcraft, doing astrology, divine, you know, a whole aqidah based on this system right here. However, this is not where it all stopped. How has that got to do anything with what we are doing? Well, he was heavily influenced by the Theosophical societies. I don't remember exactly if he was a member of one of them, but he read their publications, attend events, and was involved in some way, shape, or form. But so he started using these symbols here. So here you see those are just other.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay. Sorry, because you can barely clearly see the similarity between these symbols now, right? Now it's just coming out in the open.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So
like skinheads, hello.
He says Tolkien such runes in his books. Do you know who Tolkien is? I don't know who Tolkien is, but he said he uses such runes in his book as well. All right, so go ahead, continue.
So this is once again the logo aqidah of phases. That's according, like he used these symbols to explain this aqidah. All right, the cyclic thing, and once again, now according to him, the Aryo-Germans are the fifth root race somehow. But Blavatsky, they were the fourth. With the Aryo-German, they're the fifth. Now, what are the fourth or the fifth? Wait, did I say something wrong before? Let me check quickly. Yeah, they were planted by the fourth root race. So the Atlanteans were the fourth root race, and the Aryans were the fifth root race. All right. So according to him, the third root race, they were the first one to reproduce sexually. And here we get some adult content. He wrote a book called Sex Religion. And these guys are funny, brother. So obviously,
and this is in the 1800s. This is in the 1800s. He wrote.
That's
this book.
right. Late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. All right.
That is so crazy.
Absolutely.
That is so crazy.
And you know? so these guys, they're obsessed with reproduction. Yani eugenics.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So they have this whole, you know, we gotta encourage sex between these, you know, pure white ladies and these pure white gentlemen, and you know they got it going on in order to, you know, hatch more of them pure white little ones. It's brother. You read this stuff. It's comical, but at the same time, you see.
You can see it unfolding in our time now.
Wait, Bilal. So Uncle Heinrich.
Yeah.
Uncle Heinrich right here. So the SS, you have to understand, they represent the purest form of the Aryan leadership of the Third Reich. All right. You had strict racial criteria to fulfill before being accepted at the SS, be it in the officers' ranks, be it in the, you know, the science ranks, be it in the intelligence apparatus, be it in the Waffen SS, you know, the special forces of the SS. They were extremely selective on your based on your criteria of whiteness. Now, the top of the top of the whiteness were the SS officers. So, my brother, you know what they did?
What they do?
They had some form of literally like you know, covenants, where they would roam the country and they would look for these, you know, model white women, like really like just like the ones that are genetically abnormally beautiful. All right.
Yes.
And so they would bring them to these covenants and they would start living there. And you had the SS officer who had his wife. It's funny, in German it's called the Ehefrau, the lady of honor. So he had his lady of honor. And then every once in a while, he would go to these covenants, do certain things that would cause one of these ladies to get pregnant. And then the child would be put in care of a German family to be raised according to, you know, the ideology of, you know, what we're explaining right here.
Bro, that is the definition of the Handmaid's Tale. That is the actual Handmaid's Tale, but in
That's
real
what
life.
it was, brother. That's exactly what it was. I don't remember how many of these covenants they had, but I think there were at least three. Okay, and I also remember back in the days, Akhi, I read, it's a long time ago, Akhi, I read something written by an American soldier who ran into one of them sites, and he was blown away by the beauty of these women. Okay, so you know, this is the I guess fun part of being an SS brother.
Nazi, right? Bring a superior
Let's
race.
keep it moving. Likewise, so according to our villain Guido von List, the Maltic cross, not the Maltic, the cross of Malta, Maltic cross, whatever, this thing right here, it is actually a superposition of swastikas. Now, I must admit, I don't understand how, but that's what these guys believe. And this is the reason why you have this symbol all over in the Nazi German armies. All right, the Maltic cross. And it's an esoteric symbol anyways. So Guido von List, people, he founded or he had this ideology of Armanenschaft. So Schaft is hood. So this the Armanenhood. Your status of being an Armanen. Now the Armanen, according to List, are these pure German Aryans, as they were back in the days before they got corrupted by breeding basically with the sub-races.
Yes.
All right. And this is why we now need to rewind this process by having our dear officers from the SS breed with these fine women that we have stocked in those covenants for them.
Yep. Handmaid's Tale. Yep.
Brother, if you read it in the, you know, if you, anyway, let's keep moving. Anyway, so the Armanenschaft, and this is extremely important, people. You need to understand this model right here. This is what I call layered aqidah. Now, this model right here is not, you know, what you would expect to be an organization of a big corporation, for example. It will, of course, be in a pyramid shape. You have the board that appoints the executive team, and the executive team, they have, you know, all the middle managers. So, you know, so as you're going down the scale, it gets broader and broader, and decisions are being made at the top, and they go down, and execution is made at the bottom. That's not what this is right here. This is something completely different. So the model that Guido von List had as an Armanenschaft for the German people is these three layers. So the masses, they would have Watanism as a religion instead of Christianity. So Guido von List, he was a...
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is very.
Oh yeah.
deep.
So Guido von List,
That-
he believes that Christianity is a scam that has destroyed the Aryan heritage of Germany.
Yes.
So Watanism is the worship of Odin, this god
Odin.
right here. And what does this, what is this religion made of? Well, you have all kinds of myth and parabolic tales about Wotan and whatever moves around it. And what about, so that those are the masses. What about the elites?
Mhm.
The elites of society? Do they believe in Watanism? No, they don't.
No, they have a completely like every other Gnostic group. They have a higher level of knowledge that the other people don't have.
But Bilal,
Same thing,
be
same
very
thing.
careful.
It's the same.
It's not just that it's a higher level. It is literally different and contradicting. So it's not like,
Exactly.
okay, we teach you guys, this 3% of what we know, and just we know all the rest. We teach you some things that we actually don't believe. How crazy is that? Like you are upon something and you are a priest or whatever, but your subjects, you teach them something that you don't believe.
I believe, yes.
And this is esotericism. This is how this thing works. So what are those three levels? So at the bottom, Watanism is very simple paganism. They're a bunch of idols. You're going to go worship them. You're going to call upon them. You're going to bow down to them. You're going to prostrate to them. You're going to sacrifice animals to them. And there is going to be folklore. Now, people, folklore, wallahi, folklore is such a red flag. What does folklore mean? The word folk comes actually from German. It means population. And lore, it means inherited things that, are passed on, like oral traditions, events in your society, etc. So it's not revelation. It's not science. It is something that we actually don't really know when it actually started, but it's passed down generation after generation. And, the authorities, they make sure that they keep this going because it creates a cohesion in society upon this batil. Now, Akhi Bilal, what does Allah tells us about what Ibrahim told his people? إِنَّمَا اتَّخَذْتُمْ أَوْثَانًا مَوَدَّةَ بَيْنِكُمْ. You have taken idols as a means to bond with each other. So Ibrahim, what did he tell his people when he said, your gods, do they respond to you? They benefit you or harm you? What was their response? إنما وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون. Sorry, بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون. We found our forefathers doing this. This is folklore.
Yeah.
That's what folklore means.
Yes.
There is,
brother, when you're mentioning this, right, there's a couple of things. First of all, there's a prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ where he said that the pagan Arabs will go back to worshiping Uzza and Alat, and they will do that. And for us, it's like mind-boggling. How can something like this happen, right? But it's not just about Uzza and Alat, right? Do you know right now, as we are speaking, right? There is an entire movement of white supremacists who are going back to worshiping Odin.
Of course, brother.
And it's big too. It's not like a small, it's big. They're called the soldiers of Odin.
I
Go
know.
look this up.
I've seen them.
They're in America, they're in Canada. I'm positive they're in Europe, right? And they're going back to worshiping Odin.
Absolutely.
Right? And black folks in America and even in Canada are going back to ancestor worship. And then you have well, the Hindus are always been,
of course.
whatever they're
They're
doing.
the source of this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
again,
They're the
Bilal,
source.
this is not because some skinhead one day read the book and he said, "Oh yeah, oh man, Uncle Adolf, let's go."
Yes, you are 100% right. It's because of this stuff. It's because of this stuff here. That's why they're doing that, right?
There is a tabaqa above them in the shadows that is injecting that into them.
Yes,
that's what it is, brother.
100%.
And
yeah, sorry to cut you off there, man, but I had to mention
bro,
that,
I
man.
mean,
That is so. And now we're kind of like making the links of how this kind of stuff started. This is over 100 years in the making to reach this point, bro.
That is right.
You know, they started this over 100 years ago, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is how Shaitan he works. He got time. He doesn't have to give up.
Absolutely.
That's one thing he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, keep going.
So again, this folklore, it's mythology. And it's always a matter of depicting them as the superior people and the others as the bad people.
Yes.
And you create this dynamic of us versus them.
Yes.
It's not a dynamic of, we have the neighbors right there. How could we benefit from each other? Nah.
Yes.
How can we bond our flock in order to fight everyone else?
Yes.
And now on top you have the elite priesthood in 3 grades, and so that will be inspired by theosophical beliefs as well as Rosicrucianism. Now Bilal, I am really quoting here the research that I read, because Akhi, I cannot pretend that I'm able to explain to you Rosicrucianism. Rosicrucianism, I listened to university professors talk about it. I read stuff about it. It is shrouded in mystery. One thing is for sure, that it works this way, that it is something, it's a Gnostic madhab. But it's one of them things where, number one, there's so much out there that just cannot be authentic because it's contradicting. So there is like false information out there that murks the water. And there is so little reliable stuff that has been leaked. So it's really very hard to tell truth from falsehood about Rosicrucianism. So we're just going to skip that. And then above that, you have the ultimate gnosis. All right. So the ultimate secret gnosis in this Armanenschaft model right here, we're not really sure what it was because it was kept very secret. But we're now going to talk more about this model right here. And then in the writings of Guido von List, there is a mention of an occult elite. So they're the elite of the elite. So you see here, these people here, they are the people that we perceive to be the top of the food chain of society. And let us talk about that now. So the general model, it goes like this. You have the secret gnosis on top. And that, it's half a handful of people. They are the ones that are fully initiated in those spiritual practices, and they have gone through all the levels, and they have been selected from a number of people to go from one level to the next, and they have reached the ultimate illumination. Underneath them, you have the people that we perceive as being the elites of society. So, Akhi, those people, so these organizations, their goal is for these people right here to take hold of the framework of society. The framework of society. Very big, the legal system, brother. Akhi, do you know people in the legal profession? Yeah.
Personally? Yeah, yes.
You ever noticed them telling funny stuff, Brother Bilal?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one of my close friends, one of my very close friends is a lawyer somewhere in Europe. And you know, he was just telling me, so my friend, you know, alhamdulillah, he's Muslim, and I see that from like his face has changed. There is a level of fear since he saw too much of the profession he got himself into.
Yeah.
And he is struggling to keep certain things at bay. And he really put himself down to dealing with very basic matters. And you know, one thing he was telling me, like some fun fact that was going around the studies in recent years, is a case of a judge that had to deal with a case where one of the two lawyers, so you have the judge and you have one of the two lawyers, and this lawyer was way higher up in the Freemason lodge that they were both part of. And that caused a serious problem in that particular case. All right. So, Ashahid, Akhi, the legal profession is heavily infiltrated by people from occult secret societies. Freemasonry being the top one.
I would even go one step further, right? And say that in terms of our experience here in the West, particularly in Canada and America, or anything west of the pond, okay? The entire legal system has been ground up, set up by Freemasons and
Yes. I can fully see that.
They created it, right? They created it. We know that all the presidents, all of them, were 33rd degree Freemasons, starting with George Washington. Right. We know that whatchamacallit, that they have taken aspects of every other culture, put it into the legal system to benefit a certain group, right? While making sure other groups are completely crushed by the same legal system, while always bragging about, you know, justice for all and all this kind of stuff, right? It's like an illusion.
That's right.
It works like sihr. It works like sihr. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, well, anyways,
so you know, I'm saying, so the legal system is a framework of society. It's one of the things that holds society up. All right. But more, you have the education system, brother. Akhi, look at your top universities and look at their coat of arms, and be careful not, when you scratch your head, not to scratch your hair and your skin off. What the hell? And you see, those are the people that publish the science for the masses.
There you go.
So the masses, this system works at dumbing down the masses. It is de facto an elitist system. We are looking at us elite separating us from the flock. And you know, Achi, I've met people, you know, that are high up in the food chain in Europe. I was just a student. I might have been in you know, finishing high school, or be at my first years at uni. Brother, the dude doesn't know me, but he looks at me with such a level of disdain. And you know, bro, I'm from Luxembourg. I'm de facto upper middle class, because in Luxembourg we all are. So who are you to really just looking at me as if you're looking at a cockroach? You know, you have this thing like, and you see, because they know our beliefs as the masses, and their beliefs digs them away from us. And there has been a famous case in France, Ari, was it in the 90s or in the 2000s, where a lodge got exposed, where they were torturing and sacrificing children. And brother, some very graphic image emerged from this particular case, and it got hushed under the carpet as quickly as it came out of there. And people tried to speak up after that. People who knew stuff, they tried to come out and talk, but the media just shut that thing out. All right.
Yep.
And that's all. You see, like, they sacrificed children from our tabaqa, from our level.
Yes. From the upper middle class.
From anywhere down here. So they're up here. So they're gonna take children from here and sacrifice me. Now I'm not saying that hasha wa kalla, I'm not saying that this is done in every single society that functions like that, but that was a case in France, and it was not a conspiracy theory. It was in the open media, and it was like hop. Come on, let's forget about this.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. There's nothing to see here. All right. But now you see, really the question that you need to ask yourself is that, okay, you guys believe something. Why don't you guys teach us a little bit of what you believe? Okay, you want to keep a lot of secrets for yourself, but teach us a little bit. No. We want you guys to be dumb.
That's the whole point. Yes.
Because you see, there is like, we trying to go away from you. Well, there's two directions to this. We can go up, but there's only so far up we can go. Well, in order to increase this gap here, well, we're gonna push you down.
Yeah.
We're gonna dumb you down with all the key positions that we hold in society. Education, we're gonna teach you dumb stuff. Entertainment, music, as you were saying, Bilal. All right.
Yep. 100%.
Folklore is dumb, brother. Folklore is dumb stuff, brother. It's dumb stuff.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Paganism, etc.
There is, man.
So all of this, what does that do? It does the same thing that, you know, the Armanenschaft paganism was about. You make dumb mythology that will enable you to be loyal to your superiors that are then going to manage you. Because they're the ones holding the strings to this system of folklore, the system of, you know, what you've been taught at school, etc., etc.
Yep.
And now let's apply this general model to a number of models. Where wait, Bilal. You know the greatest leak I have found about this particular model right there?
What's that?
Al-Imam al-Ghazali.
You're kidding.
He laid this out in the plainest of terms. I meant to paste it here, but you know, I didn't. Inshallah, next time, because we're gonna have.
You know, that's surprising, but not really.
No, what is surprising?
You know
you see, Al-Ghazali. What is surprising about him is that he leaked stuff from all three stages. And so let's talk about the model that Imam al-Ghazali has explained. He said that al-Fadil, the righteous man, has 3 aqidas. Kif? He has one aqidah with the commoners, the masses. Like fiqh, like this. Well, actually, wait. I actually have, because it's based on the Sufism model. Okay. So for let's keep it here and we'll talk about that later. So he has an aqidah for the masses, and he says like fiqh, for example. But what is it that they teach the masses? Tafwid.
Yes.
The Ash'ari Tafwid madhab is the madhab for the masses. And Al-Ghazali explains it in other places of his books, where he says that we fear for the awam that they will misunderstand these ayats that speak about the attributes of Allah, that they give esoteric meanings to, and that they will understand tajseem from it. Oh my days, the biggest thing is that you will understand tajseem. Because if you believe in tajseem, all right, that contradicts all this stuff here. And we don't want that. Because if you believe Allah is above the throne, you de facto cannot believe all this filth right here.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, Al-Ghazali, he tells us that the awam, we need to just tell them like, no, you can't understand the Quran. Tafwid, it has a meaning, but we leave the meaning up to Allah. Allah revealed text for us not to understand them because supposedly it's mutashabih. And there is no explanation of the mutashabih. All right, cool.
Yes.
For the elites is ilm al-kalam, according to Al-Ghazali. So he said this is the aqidah he has with scholars. And he says it, brother, he says it in the most explicit terms. Lil khusumat, in order to argue. We like bashing. At this stage here, we like to bash each other. And then he said, and then he has his own secret aqidah that he only exposes to a very restrained circle of people that he knows are upon the same aqidah as him. And that is the secret gnosis. And people, if you want to see more of that, what Al-Ghazali said, you go to my channel and you watch was Ibn al-Qayyim al-Sufi part 3, the secrets of Kashf or something like that, the mystic practices of Kashf, because that's what this is all about in Sufism. So we see that this model here, this is not a conspiracy theory. The people who practice this have leaked this in many places. And Al-Ghazali was definitely the clumsiest one because he has leaked an entire volume of his secret gnosis, which is a form of Wahdat al-Wujud. All right?
Yes.
And every single one of those is just a form of Wahdat al-Wujud, as we have seen also right here in Blavatsky's thing, that there is a fundamental union between God and the souls of all beings of the creation.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go back. So let's apply this model, insha'Allah ta'ala, we're going to get there, to other phenomena in the world. So this model most likely entered the Muslim Ummah.
Here we go. Why? Go ahead. Yes.
So Al-Ismailiyya, they're the archetype villains in the Muslim history. They are the ones who have introduced Batiniyya, which is esotericism. Batiniyya is the Arabic word for esotericism. And also, the Sufis call the guy at the top Al-Arif Billah. Brother, it means Gnostic. Translate the word Arif, it's the meaning of Gnostic, the guy who knows.
You're the guy
Brother,
who knows.
it's
That's
just
right.
like elephants all over the room. It's like, what y'all in here? It's Quran, Sunnah. What y'all doing in here? All right. Anyway, so Al-Ismailiyya, they had this system of dumbing down the masses. You have to worship the clergy, Ahl al-Bayt, etc., etc. And once you get into their system, if you're from the selected, there was 9 levels of initiation, and it's well known that every level was contradicting the other level. So you see, look, like within each one of these levels, there are more levels. All right. So within here, within the secret practices of the elite, as you are going up here, the Ismailiyah, they're known for having taught you something at the entry point when you leave the awam. So they completely nullify the belief of the awam for you. They tell you this is batil, and they deconstruct it in your mind. Now they construct a new belief. Now you are chosen to go to the next level. The belief we taught you here, we're going to cancel it out. We're going to completely deconstruct it and reconstruct a new belief in you. And up and up and up and up until you are in a complete wahdat al-wujud that is very similar to what Blavatsky was talking about.
I wanted to make a point that you were talking about Ismaili, because the Ismailis, they're notorious for a lot of things that they did within Islamic history.
And the Westerners are fascinated with them.
Of course, they have entire, even video games, Assassin's Creed.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's about them. It's people don't know it's
Absolutely.
about them.
Absolutely. The word assassin comes from
All
here.
right. It comes from them. It comes from the Ismailis.
Because look, like here in
and
the dumbed down masses, there was this thing of blind order execution. And the assassin was a suicide commando. He was going to go and he was going to kill this, this sheikh, this alim. He was going to call this governor. Okay. And
but they did it in such a way that it kind of revolutionized that whole covert operations up until this very day. And they were doing it way back. Like you're talking about 700 years ago. You know what I mean? They would dress up like priests, like bishops and all kind of stuff, right? But the word assassin, it comes from hashashim, because I used to smoke hashish.
There's actually,
right?
there could be another root to that particular that particular word, and it means, head cutting.
Okay, I did not know that. Because I always thought I always read it was from the word hashashim, the ones who smoke hashish, which is a part of this whole esoteric thing. Anyways, they always doing drugs.
Absolutely,
and all kind of stuff,
and it was
right?
also part of dumbing down the
All
masses.
these guys. Yes,
Absolutely,
right. But I digress. Right, the whole point is that these type of orders, we see them in the everyday Muslims that we interact with, right? You see it in the Jamaat Tabligh.
yes.
Okay, the most in my opinion, they are the biggest hizb in terms of hizbiyah from the Sunni Muslims. They are it. They are them, and then Ikhwan al-Muslimin, who also have this type of levels.
Brother,
or whatever. But
they come from Freemasonry. Please, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Right? So they have this stuff with them, right? Jamaat Tabligh, they'll send you around for years going, they're saying they're going on khuruj or whatever, right? Making down. And when they trust you, you go to Nizamuddin, or Nizamuddin, as they say in the Indian whatever, or like pronunciation. But Nizamuddin there in India, where you have to make bay'ah to the sheikh, right?
Absolutely.
They don't know they're making bay'ah. They think they're making dawah, whatever. And then that's where they learn that they are these extreme Sufis, and they have to
go to the next level.
Do all. Then you go to the next level. They see the Muslims there worshiping with the Hindus in Nizamuddin. This is Jamaat Tabligh we're talking about. This is Jamaat Tabligh we're talking about, right? Hindus and Muslims worshiping together, and there's videos of it on YouTube.
Wow.
Okay, so you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me
Absolutely.
nothing, right? There's nothing hidden nowadays, right? Right. So Anyways, so that's what my whole thing about this. All of this is in our everyday
Absolutely.
lives
It
now.
is
Nobody
all
can deny
around
it.
us, Akhi. It is absolutely scary.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, let's
But-
what the heck is that? The Roman Catholic Church.
yeah, of course.
Like,
they're legendary in doing this
absolutely.
stuff.
I mean, just look, you know, you have the Pope with the cardinals, then you have the archbishops,
Yeah,
and then you have the bishops,
and
then you have
then they had
the priests.
Priests.
All right. And
altar boys after that,
yeah,
and there's the
and
guess got the
you
regular.
know, as I said,
Yeah.
it's dumbed down stuff. Saint worshiping, celebrating Easter, celebrate.
But not only that, Abdullah, I'll go even further and say that you were mentioning about the sex and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is well documented within the Catholic Church, as well as them trying to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
You know, look what's happening in Canada recently, with all these graves being dug up of Native children everywhere in Alberta. This is almost every year now we're finding like mass graves, like 500, 300 here, 500 there, and we're not talking about like 200 or 300 years ago. We're talking about 1960s, 1970s.
Yep.
With the residential schools, you know what I mean? And on top of that, survivors of sexual abuse from the Catholic Church all the time coming out, like for donkey years, but so much more now.
Yes.
Right? So I go
But
ahead.
again, look at the layers. You have the dumbed down masses that
Yeah.
are worshiping saints and going to graves and doing pilgrimage to graves and whatnot. And the clergy is there to absolve your sins.
Mhm.
Like, what? You got to go talk to the dude for him to say, okay, I forgive you. Where's your
Yeah.
connection to God? Mafi.
Yep.
Okay, so the Catholic Church, and so you have this huge supra state
Pyramid.
that was transcending
Mhm.
all the states of Europe in medieval times. And it was all going, like, so you go confess to the priest. Well, basically the Catholic Church know who does what everywhere. Okay, so he slept with her, so we got dirt on him, and we got dirt on her. He stole from him, so we know that he's kind of skilled at that. We can use that, blah, blah, blah. It was an intelligence system, brother. And it
Yep.
all goes up to where? To the Vatican. One of the most
Yes.
secret places in the world. They even have their own secret language, as you were saying early on.
And not only that, bro, but the Vatican itself, the Vatican is not a
Yes,
part
I
of
know.
Rome, right? It's considered a country within a country.
Yes. And it's guarded by who?
Right? Who guards
Swiss
it?
Army.
I did not know that. This I did not know.
Swiss,
Yes.
they have a special army guarding the Vatican. Italy has nothing to say there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
the Vatican is an actual country, sovereign
absolutely.
land.
And it is,
right?
you don't know what is going
Go ahead.
on there. Transparency,
Yes.
zero.
Zero.
And as I
Zero.
said, who speaks Latin nowadays? These dudes.
Nobody. Only the Catholic Church.
That's their secret way of communication. And so what do they actually believe? And what is their secret gnosis? We don't even know. But, it has the hallmarks of the stuff we've explained right here.
Yep.
All right, full on. Let's move it on. Sufism.
We were just talking about
Absolutely.
If you don't believe me, just go look up Nizamuddin, however you want to spell it. Hindus and Muslims worshiping.
I will
there.
look
Just
that
look it
up.
up.
I will
You'll see.
definitely look that up. So here we have the dumbed down masses and, grave worshipping, veneration of the religious elite. So the religious elite in Sufism are one in two things. It's going to be very often lineage or or knowledge, but let's look at this knowledge. You see, first of all, you have the blind following of a madhab. Like the mutamadhiba, they will go as far as to forbid you from reading the hadith. Some of them, the most extreme ones, you're not even allowed to read the hadith. You know, they're your friends, Abdul Kabir and whatnot. Oh, isnad. What do you mean isnad? If I see an authentic hadith that tells me to do something or not to do something, do I have to obey this hadith or not? No, because you don't have an isnad, you're not allowed to take any benefit from this. You're now to read it for barakah. That's it. What?
Yeah.
Can you see the model, Bilal?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have this
Absolutely.
control of the masses. No. Yes, Sahih Bukhari, you don't touch it. If you want to read it for barakah, you know, your child is sick, you want to read a few pages for Sahih Bukhari, you can do that. But you cannot like think about anything you read. All right? The same goes for the Quran. Today, no, it's us. We have the isnad. So we are the ones that have the enlightenment to be allowed to tell you what to do based on this hadith. So we are between you and the text of Revelation.
Exactly.
So
exactly. That's Christianity 101.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bilal. That's exactly what it is. Now let us see of so what do we teach? Even akhi, like some of the mutamadhiba, they literally encode their writings of fiqh. Even fiqh, you have to depend on your sheikh for fiqh. You cannot buy a fiqh book and understand, because it's written in such a unnecessarily complicated code that unless you're initiated in their studies, you will not understand what's written. And I picked up such books. I'm like, it's like I don't understand Arabic all of a sudden. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there is a barrier between you and the text of Revelation, and it's those elites right here. And then you have all the folklore. Mawlid. What is Mawlid? It's folklore, brother. There is nothing from the Revelation to back up this particular thing. It is pure and simple Mawlid. Whether it be al-Mawlid al-Nabawi or the Mawalid of the Awliya and the Sufi Mashiachs, etc., it all boils down to the same thing. It's folklore that is put there for the masses to bind and the elites to have control. That's how this model works. So the elites, now the perceived elites, they are withholding the knowledge, as I said, by making the ilm al-kalam. You know, the Ash'ari, the old people go, oh, the majority of the ummah is ilm al-kalam, is Ash'ariya. Oh, yeah? Really? Bring me one of your followers that will explain to me your adillah. People don't believe your stuff because it is by nature.
Even they don't believe it. Even they don't believe it. I said, I told them to their face, you yourself, you don't believe your own Aqidah.
You're right. You're right. And it's,
you know,
it's complexified
go ahead.
in order to make it complicated and inaccessible to the masses, which once again, it digs the gap between the religious elite and the masses.
Yes.
And then we have...
Oh, bro, I have to tell you this, man. I have to tell you this, right? You know Hamza Yusuf, right? Everybody knows Hamza Yusuf, right? So back in the day, we used to love him. We used to love him so much, you know, and his dawah and everything like that. And we used to listen to him all the time, right? Because Islam was, you know, kind of growing back in those days, back in the early days. And I consider myself late early days, not earlier, but late early days, right? So in the 90s or whatever, right? And, you know, he's always been an articulate guy. He's a very good speaker, right? Even up until today, he's a very good speaker, right? So he's doing his thing, and then it started coming out that he was Sufi. We didn't know what a Sufi was in those days, right? Nobody knew what a Sufi was, right? At least from the converts in those days, right? We didn't know all these different groups. We thought Islam was Islam, and that was it. right? Fast forward a couple of years, because he said he wasn't a Sufi. Okay? That's what he said. Okay. And on record, too, on recorded, he said, "No, I'm not a Sufi, I'm not a Sufi." Okay. Okay. So, anyways, fast forward a couple of years, and he starts his Zaytuna Institute. Okay. Right. He goes to, I think he went to Mauritania. And then, because he has 3 stages to his dawah, right? There's the beginning stage where he's kind of hiding his beliefs, right? Then there's the middle stage where he goes to Mauritania. I think he went to Mauritania. I'm not sure, yeah, but he went somewhere, and then he came back. He started pushing Nuhamin Keller and whatever, right? All right, and he started Zaytuna Institute. You know what he said when he started? He said Zaytuna Institute. He said, everything that you learned about Islam, considered it all wrong. Everything. That's what he said. It looked like this to me.
Oh, wow.
It's looking like this to me.
Wow.
He gave us whole lecture that, you have to erase all that from your mind and blah, blah, blah. And we're gonna basically, you're gonna relearn everything and blah, 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 blah. That's his second stage, right? Where he comes out as a Sufi, right? But he used Nuhamin Keller, right, to basically introduce the populace to Sufiya, while he kind of laid in the background and gradually, because that's what they do, and they're hiding the beliefs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the third stage is what he is now, right? What he is now is his intellectual. He only wears suits. He always is sitting in some expensive something or the other, giving high level lectures or whatever. He is, in my opinion, he is bare minimum far right. Bare minimum far right. But he is that.
Yeah.
Right? I think he is bare minimum far right. For sure. 100%. Okay? All right? And he is essentially positioned himself as the thought leader of the Muslims in the West. Right? That's the third stage. You get right? What did it look like? It looked like a pyramid to me. It looked like
yeah.
And
it's layers of kufr. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
It's
right?
really a layered pyramid of kufr. And it's not just, it's deep kufr. Because you see, brother, it's paganism, it's esotericism, and you see where the roots are.
But I'm telling you, wallahi billahi tallahi, he said with his own mouth on record that he was not a Sufi. And now look at him now. Now look at him.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what they do? They hide the beliefs. They hide. And then eventually gradually, you know what I mean? That's the playbook.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on to the next one. Or should we leave that one for next time? It's going to be a bit long. We've been on now for 2.5 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Shall we stop here, because we really still have a lot to cover, and postpone the rest for another time?
It's up to you, right?
Yeah, because
I mean,
if
you want to do it, if you want to continue, because I want you to connect all this stuff to white supremacy. So if you want to leave for another time,
let's do that. And how can I stop sharing my screen here? Maybe someone wants to hop on. If one of your loyal participants has any comment to make. Can you stop me from sharing my screen?
Okay. There you go. You're good now, Sheikh.
Oh yeah, I still see my screen on here. Anyway.
So let me just put the link if somebody wants to ask any questions. 1 second. Right. So I just put the link on and then we'll wind it down. Right. So if anybody wants to ask the brother any questions about what he just said right now, the link's in the chat. We'll keep it there for a couple of minutes. If nobody comes, no problem, because we know it's late on our end. But I know some of y'all are in Britain. Some of y'all are over there across the pond in Morocco. I see people from all over the place. Right. So the link's in the chat if you want to ask any questions. right? But uh, what I'm seeing here is essentially a pattern, and ironically enough, Allah he has talked about how these folks they work in secret. You know, فإنهم يكيدوا كيدا or يكيدوا كيدا, right? Right? They plan and Allah plots plots and plans, right? This is this, and Allah is He's breaking it down, right? He's breaking it down for us in the Quran. It's all been laid out. You know what I mean? So, and we're seeing that it kind of works in a very similar way, and we find people trying to Islamify it. You know, in terms of especially with the Shia and the Sufi.
Yeah, I mean
Sufis,
they are
right?
they are the batini sects of our religion. You know, it's a model that was just so well crafted. There is no need to reinvent the wheel.
Yes,
it's right there for
yes.
you. You just, you know, you want this one, you want that one. It's right there, and subhanallah, it fits in with all the similar models that are around the world, that are models where you have an elite that is dominating a crazy mass. And akhi, Europe and white supremacy, akhi, these kids know nothing, akhi. Them skinhead gangs and whatnot, brother. They are dumbed down with their hard rock music, where it's just hate, and go drinking and tattoo yourself. Bro, can't you understand you're a pawn? You're a pawn for somebody with Hindu beliefs. That's what you are, man. Just because.
And mind you, Hinduism, they have been practicing this type of color discrimination for thousands of years.
But Bilal, look, I mean, my suspicion, the fact that you find these beliefs in esoteric societies, you know, the Aryan root race, in different parts of the world, you know, Shaitan is the one that taught esotericism to the sons of Adam, quite literally.
Yes.
Review Surah Taha. Oh yes, oof. Surah Taha, the story of a Samiri, the one who you know made the calf to be worshipped, the veal to be worshipped by Bani Israel. All right. What happened? What happened in the story? He said, a messenger came to me, and I saw what they did not see. Enlightenment. And then I did this. وَكَذَلِكَ سَوَّلَتْ لِي نَفْسِي. Like within myself, I had this voice. Yani my nafs told me to do it this way. Oh yeah? Well, Bilal, one day I happened to be sitting in the lounge of some really big cat. A really big, I didn't know how big he was when I was introduced to him. And had I known, I would probably not even have gone there. Brother, somebody who is high up in the food chain. And somehow, due to the presence of some other people, the topic of Freemasonry came up. And you know what he told us? They are following the Samiri.
What?
What is he? What the hell is this dude talking about? Let me flunk out of here. Where is the nearest exit? Okay? And brother, now I don't necessarily believe it, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, like, in a century from now, nobody is alive on the face of the earth today will be alive then. So talking about Bani Adam. So unless Samiri wasn't an Adami, and he was another form of creature, okay, it could be. But if he was an Adami, he's not alive anymore. But it could be that he's not an Adami. because those things happen. You know, check out Surah Al-Baqarah, the story of the two angels with Sulaiman. And read read what Ibn Kathir says about the tafsir of this in the story that Abdullah ibn Abbas is narrating. So it's a long story, but brother, there is bizarre stuff going on. There's bizarre stuff going on in this dunya beyond the veil of material that they're trying to show us to dumb us down. Now, where am I getting at with all of this is that you see, once again, we have this theme of this secret elite that's beyond the top of the pyramid. Blavatsky, she's telling us about these two Mahatmas that are in this secret fortification somewhere in the Himalayas. Guido von List, he is telling us about the secret occult elite that is, you know, the Germano-Aryan or the Aryo-German, whatever the hell. Dude right here is telling me Freemasons are following a Samiri. What the hell is going on here? And I want to mention something very important. Now, us mainstream Sunni Islam, yalla, let's throw the word out there. Us Salafis. Does this model apply to us? No, it doesn't.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't, brother.
Absolutely not.
Ari,
Yeah.
I've been in the scholastic scene of Yemen. I've been far behind the curtains. All right, I've been in meetings and discussions way beyond the curtains. All right, away from the masses, and I guarantee you that the discussions there are the same discussions they've been having with the masses. All right, our scholars are not an elite. They are a leadership, but they are not an elite. They live among us. They believe the same thing we believe, and they teach us what they believe. His goal in life is, you know, to teach you what he learned.
Passing down knowledge.
The same one he has, he wants you to have. There is no, you know, this top-down kind of thing. Is no. Let's sit down, you and me, and I'm going to give you what I have. All right. And then I want you to take over or go do your own thing somewhere, you know, and when I'm gone, you know, you guys need to take over. All right. And so now in our lands, are these things happening? Absolutely. Oh, my days. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, when you're mentioning about, I've never shared this before, right? And I'm about to share it for the first time, right? But when I read Surah Al-Baqarah, right, I always had this internal thought, right, that perhaps that these people that are worshiping the cow somehow ended up in India worshiping cows.
SubhanAllah.
Right? That's how I always thought about that, because there has to be a reason why Allah is. I'm just
No. But wait.
like
Let me get exactly to what you're talking about. So the worship of the cow, Bilal, is very common. So please don't go read this book, guys. All right, but I'm just for reference. This is not the book. This is not the main book that this whole kalam here is based upon. I won't tell you the main books. All right, but so this thing here. So this author here, he's a 32nd degree Freemason, and this book here, he is trying to talk about, or he's researching the roots of Freemasonry, because even Freemasons, according to what he is telling us. And this book is very highly praised by Freemason reviews and whatnot. Freemasons themselves actually don't know their origins. And this is a very common theme in secret societies. We don't know exactly when they appeared. We don't know at all how they appeared. If they ever disappeared, we don't know if they actually died away or if they're just somewhere hidden. But that is a common that is a very common theme. So this guy right here, he goes back to the Phoenicians, the Lebanese, and he is explaining to you how the Lebanese had all kinds of idols amongst them a cow, and you see the Lebanese, they had a name for those idols. But as they were trying to build a trade platform, many people were coming to their places and they were encouraging them to, you know, look, this idol looks just like yours. We have a different name for it. You call it your name and you worship it. You see, we're cool.
Not
We connect like
yeah.
that. Because somewhere we understand that behind the curtains, in your place, there are people just like us here. We have our folks worshiping this cow for esoteric reasons, and your people have you guys worship a cow for esoteric reasons. So you, تفضلوا, what is the name of your cows? Mama Baba, Achaz is Mama Baba. Go ahead, prostrate. And then we have Samari pulling up a cow.
Yeah.
Strange stuff happening in this world, Akhi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying.
And again, people, look, there is only one way. There's only one way out here. There's only one escape, and it's to stick to your deen, to stick to Islam, and to do righteous deeds. Because wallahi, protection can only be from Allah, and you being saved from this, Akhi, it's going to be through righteous deeds. If you keep connected to the propaganda machine that they are controlling, well, they're going to dumb you down because that's the program they have for you. You have to unplug from all these movies and music and entertainment and Joe Rogan and all these other influencers. Are you going to tell me they're not getting paid? Shut the hell up and wake up and smell the coffee, dude.
Yep. You're investing in your own indoctrination.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
You know what I mean? So when you're mentioning about the entertainment aspect, I was having a big conversation about this maybe 2 or 3 days ago with a brother on WhatsApp, because he was sending me some news articles from Rumble, right? And he was like, you know, I'm just, you know, there are like right-wing news articles, and he's like, you know, I'm just trying to filter through the truth and blah 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 blah, right? And I told him directly, right, and I'm gonna say it, I said it on this channel too as well, right, that the alternative media in 2024 going into 2025 is worse than the mainstream media has ever been.
Absolutely, Bilal. Wallahi, absolutely. The level of bias and indoctrination is through the roof.
Yes.
It's through the roof in the alternative media. While I was in Yemen, and you know, when Nobel Peace Prize winning President Barack Obama was bombing us with the drone campaign, and they actually fired 2 missiles right in our town on a football field to kill 3 guys. Wow. Nobody knew who they were, and the missiles were loaded with toxic gas. And I was about 2 kilometers away from where the missiles hit, and brother, I was sick for days, brother. And the bodies of the guys that were hit within half an hour, they had like tripled in size. They inflated. Yeah, brother. Nobody knows what this was. Okay, U.S. Embassy, of course, denied it. But anyway. So in that day and age, I was following the alternative media that was kind of exposing all this kind of stuff. So amongst the alternative media that was out there was a website called the Long War Journal. So this website documented this whole drone wars and anti-terrorism wars, etc., and exposed all the evil stuff the US was doing. And then all of a sudden, I was still in Yemen. So this is before 2005. I started reading, you know, the tone changed, Akhi. And then within months' time, the website changed from exposing the US oppression of the world to warning the US people of the terrorist threat.
Wow.
And you're like,
wow,
what the hell is going on here? Somebody got to check. Somebody build a reputation, build a following, and then it's like, hey guys, I got 300,000 people that read my website on a daily basis. Want me to publish anything? Want me to send you a quote? And there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Alex Jones.
And what are all the mainstream media moguls? What are they doing now? All of them, from Piers Morgan to Tucker Carlson. What are they all doing?
Oh, they're pushing white
They're
supremacy.
all trying to. They're all pushing white supremacy. Not only that, but how are they doing it? Are they doing it through the
the news and whatnot? No, they have their own little programs on the side. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And the whole UFO and alien stuff, folks, is also white supremacy.
I did not know that.
Because
well, I knew an aspect of it was. I knew for sure because we, especially for us in the Black grassroots, we know how how alien lore, folklore, as you mentioned, alien lore was actually used against Black people.
Yeah.
Okay. In real time, right? Just ask Sheikh Anta Diop.
Oh.
Ask Sheikh Anta Diop. Yep. Yeah, Sheikh Anta Diop. Well, he is a scholar of Egyptology, and he debated in, I think it was 1980 something, recorded debate, right? All the top professors of Egyptology, and he just basically laid it out for them, and you know what they started saying after they debated him, because he was showing that, listen, these are ancient Egyptians, they're clearly Black from your sources, from your own sources, from your own sciences, whatever. You know what they started saying after that? They started saying that after this debate, that was the first time that these very scientists said that perhaps the ancient Egyptians were aliens.
There you are.
Perhaps.
Okay. But Bilal, look, the whole alien stuff, it goes back to this esoteric beliefs, and Hitler has done some of that stuff, that the Aryan root race masters and whatnot, they live somewhere out in space. And you see the white Aryans, they need to get in touch with them in order for them to communicate this new technology to the white people here, and for them to gain power over the world again. Because you see in Gnosticism, there is this theme of leaving the human condition. You're a human being. Through this science, you're gonna move away from your human condition. You're gonna become a demigod or something along those lines, depending on where you stand. You know, some it's demigod, some is full-blown god. Halumma jarra, no problem. So that's your philosopher's stone, the Holy Grail, and also what is it for Uncle Adolf and crew?
Yes.
It is the breeding with these prestigious white ladies in order to regain the racial purity. And this is how you're going to gain redemption from the sin of the predecessors, having bred with the, as we shall see in next episode, the apelings. Okay. And you will leave this condition of being a human nowadays that is just like all these other human beings of all these different races, and you will become a god race again. Now,
mind you, this concept is also mentioned in the Bible directly, believe it or not, right? And it's consistently used by white supremacists in the very same manner that you're mentioning.
Well, Bilal,
right? I just know Hitler actually believed this stuff. I didn't know that until you mentioned it right now, and it makes a hell of a lot of sense. And actually, if you look at white supremacy, it is exactly like that. It is very demonic, very satanic, very satanic, right? On a level that I don't think we've seen in
Brother,
human history,
you said it.
right?
The soldiers of Odin. What's
Yep,
your
yep. Mm-hmm.
Achi, do I have this picture here?
Mhm.
Let me quickly see if I can chase this up for you. Just
And for those of you who are wondering what I mentioned about the Bible, just look up Nephilim on the internet, right? And you'll see the story of I think it's in the book of Genesis, where human beings mated with angels.
yes.
Exactly how
To fall from grace.
Uh,
And we're going to talk about
yes,
that in the
yes.
next episode, inshallah. But
Yes. Exactly what the brother's talking
look
about
at,
right now.
I'm sure you saw this picture.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. The Jews will never plays as whatnot. Yep.
Alright.
That's Charleston. Yep.
Bilal,
Yep. With the tiki torches and
can
whatnot.
you see the paganism?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so your soldiers of Odin, be
Mm-hmm.
sure the day's going to come, if it hasn't happened yet, they're going to be out in the woods on a camp doing very occult rituals. But again,
Yes.
you see this idea, this theme of leaving human condition. Bilal,
Mhm.
Allah tells us about how Iblis fooled Adam. What did Iblis promise Adam?
Knowledge. Knowledge. Whoa, bro.
No. Remember the ayah, Bilal. It's more subtle than that. Yeah, Adam.
Eternal life. Eternal life.
Yani,
life.
you are
There you
leaving
go.
what? The human condition. هل أدلك
Yes.
على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. The tree of
Yes.
eternity and kingdom that shall
Yes.
never vanish, that shall never, be consumed.
Mm.
See, Gnosticism is Iblis's
Yes.
promise to the human beings to fool them into this thing. And white supremacism
Yes.
is just one of Iblis's projects, one of his very personal, well-crafted projects to fool a category of human beings into thinking that they're not servants of Allah. They're gods themselves.
Themselves,
And that's
exactly.
what Gnosticism is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll go even one further, right? To confuse the masses to worship those very same people as
Yes.
gods, right? We see it in Christianity with white Jesus, baby
yeah.
white Jesus. We see it in Hinduism, of course.
Oh yeah, white
right?
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
You remember that
we
hadith
see
I
it
sent you,
in
right?
modern. Which one? About Isa alayhi salam? Yeah.
Just keep that one for next show, inshallah.
No worries, inshallah. Okay, Sheikh. So we're gonna close it out now.
Jazakallah khair, Bilal.
for
When are we going to
coming.
see each other? Next Saturday? Is that good for you? Same time?
It's perfect for me, bro. We could do it at the same time.
All right, cool.
No
Let's do that
problems,
then.
right? I want to thank Brother Hanif. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you a millionfold. Brother Kev D, may Allah reward you and multiply it for you a millionfold. And Sister Tika, may Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you a millionfold. I want to thank all the guests that showed up, all the people who commented, all the people who liked. If you didn't like now, share, subscribe, and we will see you, Brother Abdullah, next week, inshallah, on Saturday, same time. So if you're in the UK, you can watch it live. If you're in the west side, like our side here, you can also watch it like it's gonna be late night because you're not gonna be working on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean,
And
UK,
so-
it's also, it's I think it's like, we started, it was 3 a.m. over there, so
Yeah.
I think that's a bit.
for us, it'll be Friday. For you, it'll be Saturday.
that's right.
So same time, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
All right, Bilal,
All right.
Allah,
And
brother.
any last words there, bro? Anything else you want to close out with?
That's it. SubhanAllah wa bihamdik, shadu la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And